Good evening, welcome back. It is Wednesday, April 26, 2023. We have a few birthdays, only one I have a card for, and we'll get to those in just a moment. But I have a plethora of events for us to review starting in 1981. Morgan Shepherd won his first career race at Martinsville on this date, driving for furniture magnate Cliff Stewart, car number 5. It was a Pontiac. This race was telecast on tape delay on ESPN and is on the YouTube. Pretty interesting race. Of course, this was the first year they downsized the cars to I think it was the Gen 3 or 4 configuration. I can't remember. But it's very interesting watching this race and being so, I don't want to say archaic, but ESPN was definitely in its embryonic stages as far as a network, and racing telecasts for NASCAR also were very very scarce at that time. So this was a pretty cool race to go back and watch. Also on this date, 1987, Dale Earnhardt won at Martinsville, passing Jeff Bodine, who spun. And this was one of these rare occasions on a short track in the mid 80s that a car spins out and they don't bring out a caution flag. I can just imagine social media lighting up with this race if it happened today. Jeff Bodine was leading, got in contact with Kyle Petty and spun on the backstretch. Dale Earnhardt took the lead. And the more significant part about Dale's win, that was his 6th win, his 4th in a row, and there had only been 8 races run. He had won 6 out of the first 8 races, and pretty much just put a whoop on him in 1987. It was 1987 in the Cup Series was the Dale Earnhardt Clinic and RCR Clinic. 1992 on this date, Mark Martin wins at Martinsville. Of course, you see a theme here, a lot of races at Martinsville. That's just when it used to fall on the schedule. The important factor about Mark's win on this date, it was Valvoline's first win, his first win with Valvoline as a primary sponsor. Valvoline had won previously with Cale Yarborough and Buddy Baker in the early 80s, so this was Valvoline's first win as a sponsor since 1983, so nearly 10 years. They'd had drivers like Ron Bouchard. I take that back. Neil Bonnet did win for them in 1988, so my bad. So it'd been 6 years since 4 or 5 years since Valvoline had won a race. I forgot about that Neil went with Raymock, and they did have some success there. But they kind of had some sporadic success in the 80s, but when they hooked up with Roush, it was game on. 1998 on this date, Bobby Labonte won the Die Hard 500 at Talladega. Of course, it had a big wreck that involved Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, and others. Bill Elliott had a similar injury as to what Dale Earnhardt had a couple years before with the cracked sternum and all that. There was a fire that kind of broke out. Earnhardt had some minor burns, and in his interview, he mentioned about burning his mustache off, and he'd have to grow some new ones. So that was kind of funny. Of course, he was involved in another incident. Him and Bill were in another incident the following week or 2 weeks later at California. On this date in 2008, Scott Speed wins his first career ARCA race at Kansas, driving Eddie Sharp's Red Bull-sponsored Toyotas. Of course, Scott nearly won the title that year. I believe Stenhouse crashed him out in the last race. I want to say Chris Buescher won the title that year. I really don't remember much from 2008 in the ARCA series, except I did keep my eye on Scott Speed because I thought it was interesting how a Formula One transplant was going to do. On this date in 2009, huge win. Brad Keselowski, first career win and only career win for James Finch as an owner in the Cup Series. Of course, that incident gets replayed over and over on all the NASCAR YouTuber channels as spectacular moments, finishes, etc. And our final event on this day, another ARCA event on 2015 at Salem Speedway. Kenny Schrader, to date, has won his final ARCA race. Don't know if he's going to continue on or not, but we will see. So 4 birthdays. One has a card. We'll get to that in just a second. Born on this date in 1958, Formula One veteran Johnny Dumpfries. Born on this date in 1994, former Formula One driver. He ran 3 Cup Series races last year. Danill Kvyat. Born on this day in 1962, former Xfinity Series driver Jimmy Kitchens. And born on this date in 1951, excuse me, had a jump cut there because I didn't think you wanted to sneeze in there. Born on this date in 1951, former modified driver. He may be currently, I don't know if he is or not. Mr. Junior Miller. So this was the only card that I seen that I had. I might have one tucked away in the rookie box, but I know you didn't want to watch a 5-minute video to watch a card of a driver that you probably never heard of. But it was a card that I had. So happy birthday to all those folks, their families, etc., etc. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's always fun just to dig through the cards, dig through the history, and remember things that happened in the past, because it was just some of this I lived through. Some of it, was before my time, so it's kind of interesting to go back and learn. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow.